Cheers. Oh wow. So good. Good morning, friends. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I'm in ROVINJ, Croatia, a fishing town in the north of the country, in the Istrian Peninsula. This town is known for its fish and seafood and just how fresh they can get it from the Adriatic Sea. But first, I want to talk about how amazing our rental is and has been. We were so fortunate to land on this amazing property, impeccable from start to finish. It is incredibly clean and it is on this beautiful terrace property where our host invites us down for coffee every morning. And today she made us Italian coffee with some biscuits and milk, and it's so delicious. As we enjoy our coffee, we get to enjoy her beautiful garden and even her strawberry rows, which yesterday she served us some strawberries plucked straight from her garden. And this has just been such an incredible experience. We have not had something like this the entire time we've been in Europe. This is amazing. So I do love to have this coffee with a little bit of milk. I had some yesterday and it was absolutely delicious. So fresh, a perfect foam on top. Oh man, that's so good. The creaminess, that fresh milk, and the espresso is so good. This perfect little vessel of a cup too just lends to the all-around experience when drinking this coffee. It's so good. So this is Italian coffee, and you might be wondering why I'm having Italian coffee in Croatia. And as a matter of fact, ROVINJ used to be a Venetian colony. It's just outside the northeast coast of Italy, so the influences are all here, and you see it all over the town. You see it in the signage, you see it in the buildings, you see it in the food, and that's why we're so excited to try the seafood here today in ROVINJ. Yesterday we did get a chance to explore the town and see the sights, the coast, the buildings, the beautiful winding streets, and today we're gonna take you to a restaurant we visited yesterday that is pretty freaking awesome. I can't wait to show you, and we're gonna try a couple new places with you. So I want you guys to come along. I'm very excited. Let's go. We're at Tunaholic Fish Bar. So this place is really casual. You walk up, order from the window, and they have fish sandwiches and fish platters. The shark sandwich has arrived. Look how perfectly constructed this sandwich is. You've got the crispy alfalfa sprouts, arugula, iceberg lettuce, wasabi mayo, some sriracha, and that beautiful fillet of shark. You can even tell how it's charred on the grill. And this bread is so soft. A sesame bun, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. Let's give this a try. Wow, this is a mouthful. Wow. That is such a delight. That crunchy bun, and then you bite into this soft, tender piece of shark with some of that tomato in there. The wasabi mayo is excellent. It's the perfect complement. Wow. And that crunchy alfalfa, the arugula, I love the mixture of the lettuces in there for different textures. Oh, I also see caramelized onions in there, like balsamic caramelized onions. Man, they hit it all at this joint. You gotta come here. Oh yeah. I just got some of the onions there. This piece of shark fish fillet is as fresh as can be. Look at that char. You can hear the grill sizzling behind me as I'm enjoying this. It's just a sensory experience. Wow. This is my first time having shark. Never had it before. Did not expect the flavor to be like this or the texture. It's a obviously a white fish, but it's not too firm, it's not too soft. It's just got this perfect balance of texture when you're chewing it, so it's perfect for a sandwich. It holds itself together, but it's easy to eat. Places like this are something I want to show you because when you come traveling, oftentimes many of the restaurants are sit down, reservation only, lunch or dinner, and this is a casual spot, but a little bit more elevated from just like a food cart. So it's very casual and the food is outstanding. You don't want to dismiss these places just because they have, you know, they don't look like a old school taverna, which those are great too, but these are things that I want to show you guys because you really don't want to miss out on these type of restaurants. The food is excellent, it's fresh, they're getting it from the same place, the same fisheries, so it's really something to be appreciated. We actually got the last shark available today. Our waitress was talking to us and she let us know that everything comes in local, so when the shark is available, it's available. So that just goes to show how much these villages are dependent on seasonal availability and how much they hold true to that. Alright, so literally a few steps from Tunaholic, there's this restaurant called Chiquetti, and they are a small bites bar. Chiquetti literally translates to little nothing, something small, very similar to your Spanish tapas or pinchos. And here we're trying the Istrian beef and the prosciutto. So you really can't come to the Istrian Peninsula without trying some of their beef products with truffle especially. So that's what I'm trying. I've got a San Servolo here. This is a local beer. I'm having their dark variety. Andres is having their light variety. Either way, this is from Central Istria. We're keeping it local today. Let's try some of this Chiquetti. So these are Venetian style tapas, the word Chiquetti, and you have your piece of bread, typically with whatever it might be, anchovy, beef, prosciutto, anything served on top. It's just a quick bite. It's not intended to be a meal. It's really like a snack that you have with your beer or your drink for the day. This one here is boshkaren. It's Istrian beef. It's got truffle mayo, arugula, cheese, olive, and tomato. The truffles in here are very important to this region. This is something that is locally found in the forest here in the Istrian Peninsula, so it's highly regarded. You're gonna see a lot of shops selling truffle. Wow. Instantly you get the truffle aroma in your palate. Oh, I've got a little bit of that Parmesan cheese with this salami that's actually quite mild in flavor, and you have the fattiness though, so it really has a nice mouth texture, and the bread is very soft. It is a baguette style bread, and you have that truffle aroma. That's what really shines in this Chiquetti right here. I'm gonna try some of this pepper and olive. Perfect complement. It cuts the fat of the sausage. And let me tell you, the sausage is sliced so thin. It's almost, you almost can't really call it sausage because it's so thin. It's very thinly sliced salami of Istrian beef. This is the prosciutto Chiquetti, and it has a super thin slice of that prosciutto on there. You can see the fat kind of melting. Let me turn this over to your side. Whoops, I'll put that back on there. But you can see the fat starting to melt on the side there. It has tomato spread plus dry tomato. Kept very simple. What we're highlighting here is the prosciutto and the sun-dried tomatoes. Oh. Wow. That's excellent. That prosciutto, wow, that fattiness. And then it's sliced so thin, it just breaks apart immediately. It's not chewy. And the flavor is just wonderful. You have a little bit of that kind of like acorn, earthy flavor that you get in a prosciutto. And then the sun-dried tomatoes, that's just kind of like this acidic sweetness that you kind of play back and forth with the fattiness of the prosciutto. And the bread, I mean, I can't even, the bread is just wonderful. That just goes without saying. And I'm enjoying that with some of this San Servolo, which is local Istrian beer, and it's dark beer, which I love. Perfect, perfect. But you could also have this with wine. You can have it with an Aperol Spritz, whatever you're liking, but this is my jam right now. Our last Chiquetti is the anchovy, and I love the attention to detail on this. You have a salted anchovy, a sweet anchovy, and the fish paste. So you're having this dynamic of sweet and salty all together. I can't wait to try this. Wow. It's perfect. It's not overwhelming of salted anchovy. You have that balance of the sweet anchovy. The fish paste on the bottom brings it all together. One of my favorite things is the sweet anchovies. It's not actually sweet, it's just not salty. It's vinegary. So you have salty, vinegary, and then the fatty fish paste. This is great. A trip to ROVINJ is not complete without trying their oysters. I mean, this is a seaside village after all. So we're here at Snack Bar Rio on the Riva, the main meeting point of ROVINJ at the tip of the town of the peninsula, and we are having oysters. Look how beautiful, luscious, and juicy these oysters look. Squeezing a little bit of lemon on these. Oh my gosh, it's so hot today. I feel like it really needs it. Cheers. Oh wow. So good. Salty, juicy, cold, and refreshing. Man, with that lemon just sprayed on top. Oh, that is so good. These are, of course, different from any other oyster I've tried before. We're in a different part of the world. We've been on the Atlantic, now we're in the Adriatic, and this is just spectacular. It tastes like the Adriatic. Every time you go into the beach here, you're tasting the oysters, and that's exactly what I'm getting right now. That brininess from the sea, those calm waters with that wonderful breeze and wind that comes into here. This is so good. We're back at our bed and breakfast. We came back after lunch. We had an amazing day and just rested up a bit, getting ready to go to dinner now. And yesterday we stumbled across a store selling Rakia, and they were doing tastings. This is a local shop, a distillery within the peninsula. And we bought some Apricot Rakia. Rakia is a fruit brandy, and they make it from pears, apricots, grapes, but basically it's a fruit brandy. Very strong, great starter aperitif before your dinner, so we're gonna have some here. It's a really strong beverage, so it's not a big problem that it comes in a little perfume sized bottle. A little goes a long way. The cork is on there really good. Okay, here we go. Forgive us, we don't have proper Rakia glasses, but we'll do the best that we can here. Smells scrumptious, very strong. Once you've had Rakia a couple times, you get used to that first initial like intensity of the smell of alcohol, and then you can kind of start to appreciate the other flavors that are in there depending on the fruit or the product that it's made from, because it's also made from walnuts, which is crazy. It's awesome. Oh yes, you taste the apricot, but it's a little bit more on the sweeter end. It's not like tart. But you have like this nice like tree citrusiness, It's kind of like biting into a ripe apricot, but it's not too sweet. Rakia is meant to be drunk before dinner or after dinner as an aperitif or digestive at the end. But either way, it cleanses your palate and it kind of gets you ready to have whatever meal you're about to enjoy. So I feel good now. My appetite is definitely woken up. Let's go get some dinner. So the place we want to bring you to dinner today is Conover. This is actually just outside of the old town, not in the old town proper, but it's about maybe 5-10 minutes walking where normally the locals like to go. But we want to go where the locals are, so we're here tonight. Let's go eat at Conover. We've just been seated at Conover and we've been exploring the menu. They have a lot of amazing dishes. Our server's been helping us kind of choose and letting us know what's on special today. We're starting out with a sheep's cheese, and we are also going to have seafood in buzara, which is a white wine sauce with shells. When it was brought to our table, our server doused it with some olive oil, and it has a nice little plate of olives to go along with it, with some fresh bread. Just like a semi-firm cheese, and then this olive oil is so fruity. As soon as you take a bite, you can taste how fruity that olive oil is in there. It's excellent. We've got our seashells in buzara. This is a traditional Croatian dish. The buzara is a white sauce, almost like a broth. And you have the seashells. We have mussels, clams, scallops, and one more that I'm not really sure what it is, but it looks amazing. I noticed when it hits the table, it's got this beautiful crust on the seashells, and I can't wait to try that. This beautiful sauce. Look at that. Broth, parsley. Wow. Wow. Whoa. Wow. That's garlic. Fine minced garlic in there, and it hasn't been strained, so it's still chunky in there with the broth. And this seashell, I think that's a small baby scallop, but I'm not entirely sure. It tastes wonderful. It does taste like scallop, so it might be. That's so good. Let's try the mussels. Wow. Wow, there's so much going on in there. But most importantly, the seashells are so tender. Fresh caught, fresh cooked. Wow, that's excellent. Look at this one's got a lot of garlic. So good. Wow. It's almost like there's very fine breadcrumbs that were sprinkled on top of there. This is like a really thick, where it kind of thickens the sauce a lot. Oh wow, so good. Maybe even like a cornmeal. That's kind of what it might be. Very interesting flavor, really, really good. Let me get another one of these here. Scoop this out and dip it in that sauce. Let me get under the light for you a bit. The pan, by the way, is piping hot. They cooked it right in here. Oh wow, it's so juicy, so buttery. Perfect amount of saltiness to it. That herb from the parsley, that flavor, perfect complement. Wow. Alright, so there's one more shell in here that I'm not familiar with, and our server actually came over to show us how to open that one because they're closed shut. This one is called the mushul. And as you can see, there's not really like an obvious opening, but they showed us that there's actually a hole up top here, and you crack that open. Let me show you. So you stick the knife in here and twist it. And that opens it up for you. much chewier. It's like a firmer mussel, a little bit more earthy, more pungent in that seafood flavor. It's good. I need to get used to it a little bit. I'm used to more like the mussels. This is a new step for me. So we're about halfway through our plate and I'm still seeing a lot of this like breadcrumb or cornmeal, and I realize it's actually really helpful for the dish because it helps the sauce stick to the shells. So when you open it, you kind of have that nice jus in there that's being held with the breadcrumbs or the cornmeal. Oh. I love the saltiness of the mussels. It's so good. Got this lovely clam here. Beautiful. Let me get some of this juice. I love how when you get a mixed seafood platter, you can kind of think about food as it's all going to taste the same, but really the mussels, the clams, and the mussels, which not to be confused with mussels, all and the scallops have their own flavor. You can really taste it even though they're sitting in the same sauce, and they complement the sauce in different ways. This is a really great dish. Here I have the last scallop sitting in all the sauce here. Oh. It actually tastes better if you bring the pan to your face. So the next thing we ordered today is the goulash. This was one of their house specials. This is a cuttlefish goulash. So it's got nice chunks of cuttlefish in there, which is a delicacy here in Croatia. You'll find it on many menus, whether it's the black risotto or different cuttlefish dishes along with squid. All right, I'm gonna dig in and get some of these cuttlefish pieces, some peas. It smells fantastic. It smells very much like seafood cuttlefish. The cuttlefish is super tender, and the entire broth itself has a very much like a kind of seafoody flavor. So they probably use like a seafood stock to make this, and then the peas, which add like a nice kind of vegetable-y bite without it being too much of like chunky vegetables. It's really nice. So goulashes tend to come in different shapes and sizes. It's really just a meat and a vegetable dish. So they could be more of a tomato base or more of a different broth base. This has that seafood broth, and also in the flavor I'm getting a lot of pepperiness. It's definitely got a lot of fresh packed black pepper, which I love, and you have a lot of peas. It's not as soupy as some goulashes. This is much more thick, like a stew. I cannot let this juice go to waste. It's got like all the little bits of potato and peas, tiny pieces of cuttlefish. It's so good. Oh, that's it. The entire dish culminates to this moment right here when you get to have the leftover sauce. Honestly, don't even want bread for it. Just drinking it like this is the best. Oh, what an amazing dinner. We're back at our bed and breakfast right now. I just wanted to come back and have some rakia for dessert. This is a mistletoe rakia. Oh, that's like a warm hug. So nice and toasty in the flavors, very different from the apricot one we had earlier today. Thank you guys so much for joining us on our seafood tour through ROVINJ today. I had so much fun enjoying shark sandwich, Chiquetti, oysters, and then we finished off at Conover with buzara and a cuttlefish goulash. This was excellent. The food was so hearty. It's very unique in flavor. These dishes are things that I haven't tried throughout our time in Croatia yet, and I really enjoyed them. So you've got to come out to ROVINJ. They have their own vibe here. This place is just beautiful and the food is excellent. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. It really supports our channel. We can't wait to come back with another video for y'all. So I will see you on the next one.